Hey everybody, this is Vanessa from the Full Throttle family, and today we're going to talk about my favorite thing, dirt bikes and betas. If you're feeling a little overwhelmed when you're checking out the beta website, trust me, you're not the only one. 125, 200, 250, 300, 350, 390, 480, 500, and then you get into the trials bike, and then you get into the race editions. It's a lot. So since in the video we will be riding a cross trainer, a 200 and a 300, I put up a few little stats here. So the dry weight of the 200 is 230 pounds versus 218 pounds on the cross trainer. Yeah, you might have thought that the cross trainer, because it is smaller, it would weigh less. Surprise, surprise, it doesn't, but really it's only a few pounds. And the 300 coming in at obviously the heaviest at 220 pounds. And then seat height, surprisingly, the 200 and the 300 are showing for 2025s as the same seat height, which I'm pretty certain that my 2021 was smaller than a 300, but I guess, I don't know. Maybe they've changed that. The cross trainer has the lowest seat height, so definitely something to consider if you're a smaller rider. And then we will get into, should you buy a race edition? Should you not? And really, it comes down to who you are and what kind of riding you want to do. So here we are, Thanksgiving long weekend, riding Hendry, which is Scora trails around Barrie. And beautiful weekend, nice and perfect weather. Colors are gorgeous. Trails are very nice. But damn, are they boring. And I am sorry, Scora lovers. This is fun, but no elevation, no rocks, just nice and flowy, which is great when you can test each other's bikes out. So this is what we did.
So third is the best gear.
It's my husband's first time on my bike. So this is a brand new to me 2021 200 race edition that he's riding for the first time. And I basically told him, don't you dare trash it, don't break it, because if somebody's gonna schmuck a tree, it's gonna be me on it. So I'm riding my beta cross trainer, which I've had since 2021, and it was a 2018 when I bought it, and I was a third owner, which I am a strong believer that if you know the person that you're buying the bike from, or you have an idea of how they took care of the bike, buying used is kind of the way to go, because you don't feel horrible if you don't love the bike. So the cross trainer's been amazing to me. I highly recommend a cross trainer if you are just transitioning into this two-stroke world, which I was. This is my first two-stroke. It is a smaller bike. It is super forgiving, lower seat height, tractor-like power, which rides almost like a four-stroke to me. Maybe things to consider: the suspension is not great. It is a cross trainer. It is a mix between a trials and an enduro bike. So if your goal is to maybe start racing or to ride at fast speeds, that is definitely maybe not the bike. Maybe not definitely. I don't know why I'm sounding so confident here. Is probably not the right bike for that. All that to say, I've raced the cross trainer now for 3 years, and I've done great on it, but I've now exceeded its suspension abilities, and I've dropped money to try to make the suspension better, and it's just not enough. So if I want to get fast, I needed to get something with a better suspension, and that is how I ended up picking up a 200, and it happened to be a race edition, which I think was the right move because it's got the KYB front forks. Now the newer models also have the KYB rear shock, and I'm not a suspension guru, but I know that it's obviously way better than the stock cross trainer suspension.
Have you tried the rear brake on the handle?
No.
Why not?
I like it. Yeah. These two bikes are way
different
than this thing.
No kidding.
Yeah. This is the fun play bike. Those are the racy bikes. Right?
I know, but this feels almost like a budget.
Well, it is. It's the budget beta, right?
I know, but you really can tell when you're going from this to this
Yeah.
to this to that to this.
Now the engine, when we run around that log,
Yeah.
this is so much easier to handle
Yeah.
because it's all down low and really easy to modulate.
Yeah.
Where these bikes spin. It's very noticeable difference in the 3 bikes.
Yeah.
So here I am now getting on a 2020 Beta 300 Race Edition, and apparently I don't know how to start a bike with a recluse clutch in, so I'm trying to pull in the lever and I'm not giving enough gas. So all that to say, always an adjustment getting on somebody else's bike. The recluse was working super good in here, which I'm not a fan of a recluse, but he had it set up really good. He also had a clay cleaver, which was my first time trying one, and it is so cool. It's basically like having a mountain bike. You've got your rear brake on your handlebars. I really like that from when I get to ride electric bikes. It's cool when you're going down hills, when you're in those awkward positions. What's different about this is if you press on the rear brake, like the foot pedal, while holding it with your hand, you actually feel the lever like pulsating. So very interesting. I just don't see how you would use that lever if you did not have a recluse. I feel like there would just be too much hardware going on your lever. But I don't know, maybe somebody here has tried it. Let me know if that works. I looked it up. They sell them for like $6.99 at Lang's Off-Road, so it is not cheap. But I hear they work really well for ice riding when you're, I don't know, being crazy on the ice. I guess going into corners and stuff, you can't. When you're all bent over looking cool, it's hard to reach your rear brake. So where I am with my riding, would I consider a 300? No, I would not consider a regular 300. I love the 300 Cross Trainer, but to me, it's just a little bit too much bike. Size-wise, I don't need the 300cc engine. Yes, absolutely, they are easier to ride. In this video, I'm now back on my 200, and I'm just being a bit of a dink, passing my friend who got stuck on that little baby itty-bitty log. So, if I was a full-grown man, absolutely the 300, I think would be a good bike. But I know a lot of bigger guys who say the 200 is super fun. So a 200, you have to ride it more aggressive. A 300, you have that ability to be a little bit more lazy. It's got more forgiveness. Like, see, apparently at 300, you go right into trees. So with the 200, look how nimble I am. I can just go right around it. So what's cool about the 200 is that you can ride it more docile. You've got to be on the clutch more. But if you're looking for a fun, fast, nimble bike with a great suspension, I would definitely say check out the Race Edition. The only downfall is that you're going to mix your own gas versus the Xpro models, and the Cross Trainer comes with oil injection, which is so nice to just dump 2-stroke oil in your little canister and let the bike do its thing. It has 2 map switches on all these bikes, rain mode and sunshine mode. I never put in rain mode. I hate these bikes in rain mode. Personally, I find it just feels very irky jerky. On sunshine mode, I loves it. I've gotten Kevin to play around with the front forks. They are the stock springs in it, and they're a bit stiff. I haven't played around with the rear yet, but that's like any bike. You just gotta play around with it. I'm not going to start revalving it and doing all that jazz just yet. And here's a team of Honda bros in the forest, and just to say that we rode all day and didn't run into anybody on the trail till now. So pretty cool.
Filming Kevin laying on the
And
ground.
here he is messing with the rebound or the compression or whatever those dials are underneath there.
That's what happens when you're a pro rider.
He changed it, then I rode it, then I made him change it back, and then I made it change it again. So thank you. You were a great sport. And that's video of me riding. I know it's rare. I convinced him to put my GoPro on his helmet. He said, "Oh my god, it's so heavy," but I appreciate you doing that, because I got to see how bloody stiff I am. Like, honestly, when I'm riding, I'm telling myself, like, shift your weight, elbows up, put your ass out. And then I watch this and I look ridiculous. Like, I'm not even moving on the bike, but in my head, I'm exaggerating all my movements. So it's kind of cool. And also, you'll see later, I go through like kind of a whipped out section, and I got to see how my bike is handling. It's not too bad. It's not kicking me in the butt. So that's a good thing. So to circle back, you're looking for a sweet trail riding bike, and your goal is not to go fast. Check out the XTRAINER. I mean, it is capable of doing it all. Just depends how much you like your spine and how much you want to spend on a chiropractor. You want a fast, fun, nimble bike. The 200 may be for you. You want a very capable bike. Maybe you're a little bit of a bigger person. You want that extra power. The 300 is a tractor, or so I've been told. And the great thing about betas is if you're undecided, well, there's also a 250. And I don't know much about the 250. I haven't ridden one, but I hear it's pretty sweet too. So how to pick a bike when there's so many great options? I mean, you can always do like I do and just buy one of each. Feel free to message me if you ever want to go for a ride and try out one of my betas. I would be more than happy to let you try it. And I do have my 390 that is up for sale. That is a 2021, and that's a whole other story. But it could be a great bike for somebody. And here we are getting towards the end of the day. We're all a bit tired. This is where I was talking about. You really see my suspension going up and down. Yeah, it's a little bit bouncy. Definitely could probably play around with some clickers, but it's not as bad as Ryan, who's a 230 plus pound man on a XTRAINER. So definitely do not recommend it if you are that size to get a XTRAINER. And if you do get a XTRAINER and you are that size, hey, that's cool. Just make sure to get it sprung to your weight, or it does become super sketchy. I don't want to call the XTRAINER a budget bike because it is a super great option, but definitely just something to keep in mind that its downfall is the suspension. The bonus, its amazing ability to do it all. So here's a video of the XTRAINER suspension, just crying. I definitely thought that I was going to be a widow right here, but he kept it together. Thank you for watching. Hopefully I didn't confuse you any more than you already were, and hopefully I'll see you on a beta next season. Break, and it pulsates on in your finger. So wow, that was a terrible description. So really, if you're a big guy, I guess I shouldn't. If you're a big girl or guy, all these bikes would be mint. No, that's not true. Is in